Good morning. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. This is a dream come true. Launching my first ever Authentic Woman podcast as part of our Cummings coaching business. And this has been a dream on my bucket list and my to do list for many, many months. I am excited. I'm excited. I love to share with you in this way. I love to, we're going to be sharing about different topics, different challenges, different coaching techniques. And I'm going to be over, the course of running this podcast, we're going to be interviewing different women who are amazing women who are doing amazing things in the world, sharing about their struggles, their strengths, their talents. And we got some amazing, I've got some amazing women lined up to share with you. Today's just, launch off podcast. I wanted to start out with influence. And who are the women who have influenced me in my life as a young woman? And we know that we are a collection of the 5 women who we surround ourselves with. And those women might change over time. They're not the same women and that they were when I was a child. And today I'm going to talk about those 5 women who impacted my life when I was a child and really formed me into the woman that I am today. And then I also know that friendships don't always last a lifetime. Some friends come and go. They're in our lives for a season. I can think of many friends who, when I was single, they were just such an important part of my life. And then they got married and I got married and things changed. Our lives changed. And so we aren't as close. And some I don't even see at all anymore. And that's okay. They were in my life for a season. And that was a very important season for them to be there. And we'll either grow in our friendships, and through our friendships, we either grow, remain the same, which we know we don't really remain the same, right? We either move forward or become less. And it's important for us to always surround ourselves with women and friendships that are leading us forward, helping us grow on the path with us, whether that's our spiritual walk, our professional walk, our walk as a mother, as a wife, as a sister, as an entrepreneur. And in relationships, sometimes we're either mentors or mentees. So, and that could be different in different seasons of the friendship too. And so just knowing what your role is and embracing that and contributing to the friendships. So the 5 women that I want to share with you today are the women who impacted my life as a young lady. These are women that I did not choose. They were chosen for me, and they were given to me as a gift. They influenced me, they inspired me, they challenged me, they encouraged me, and they still impact me today. 4 of the 5 women are no longer with us. And yet their impact lives on in me. So the first woman I want to share with you is my maternal grandmother. Her name was Marion. And my logo for Cummings Coaching, it has the big peony on it, is very much an inspiration from her. They lived on a farm, and she had this huge peony garden, I guess you could say, and I loved when we would go there in the springtime to see them all in bloom. And I have several plants of peonies in my own flower garden. And it was something that reminds me of her. She knew how to show up in a room. It's one of the things she taught me. She always dressed femininely. Her clothes were always tailored. Her hair and makeup was done. And She walked with grace and poise, and she corrected me many times to stand and sit up straight. And so that was really something I learned from her, is how to show up in a room. And she also used her gifts. She was a beautiful woman who had many, many gifts. She was an excellent, amazing seamstress. She made quilts, sewed clothing, I mean, made suits, lined, everything was just with excellence. I remember many times she's tearing out a seam because it wasn't straight or something wasn't, perfect and excellent about it. And so she taught me to do my best and to do it well. She also enjoyed quilling. So another one of her crafts or sides of her that was so beautiful, and she won many awards for her artwork in the area of quilling. And if you don't know what that is, it's little thin pieces of paper that are different color, and you roll them or you cut them and trim them to make beautiful pictures, beautiful, beautiful work. She also taught me to contribute to others. She I think it was crocheted or knit. I don't remember which art that was, but that she did. But she made baby layettes to give it to expectant mothers in their parish and to other community organizations to give to mothers who needed them for their babies. Um, she was always bringing a meal to someone. So contribution to others was something she modeled to me. She also modeled to me the importance of self care. Weekly, she would go uptown to get her hair done. She also taught me that not doing this, um, how that impacts our health. And her last bit of service, I guess you could say, her last act was to give to others instead of caring for herself. And so this taught me the importance of my health is important, self care is important, and that I have to be able to communicate that to others. Up next, number 2 is my paternal grandmother by the name of Margaret. I get her middle name. Her Margaret is my middle name, and she taught me imperfect progress. Margaret, grandma was an amazing woman, and yes, her house was picked up and clean, but it was not like it didn't walk out of the Pier One magazine. She was raising 8 children, 7 of them were boys, and so it was cleaned and put together, but it was how she could function in it. She also taught me acceptance of others. She was always welcoming to others and never was judgmental. And so I see her now when I know, like in the woman's school, I feel like she was someone who said to herself, I can find something good in that woman. I can learn from her or that person. She also had showed me great capacity. She had great capacity. Like I said, she had 8 children. She worked at a paper company in town. So she worked out of the home, and how she juggled all of that great capacity, doing the laundry and the grocery shopping and the cooking, and still taking care of my grandfather, and there was still many of my uncles still at home when I was little. So she was also resourceful. She could make the most delicious batch of cookies from ingredients she had in her refrigerator. She kept all of the little scraps of paper from the paper company, the paper mill, all the end pieces that they couldn't use, she would bring home in boxes for us so that we would always have paper to color on and to paint on. So she was always super resourceful. She also taught me resilience. After my grandfather died, she moved into town. She couldn't drive, never drove a day in her life. But she, walked to church, walked to the grocery store, walked to the drugstore, walked to the beauty parlor. Like she got a home where she could do all of those things still and remain independent and resilient. She also traveled to Europe. in those years after grandpa passed away. She traveled with us a couple times and just wanted to explore the world. She had so many dreams, and lived them out. She wanted to take a hot air balloon ride. I think it was for her 80th birthday. And so she did that. And I'm just like, I admire her for her resilience and her dreams and making them happen. Um, the third woman who influenced me as a young woman is my elementary and middle school music teacher. Her name was Rosemary, and she oh my gosh, she taught me how to ignore critics. So many other teachers and other kids in the school said that I couldn't sing and that I should just lip sing. And she helped me to ignore critics, to fight for myself, to believe in myself, and practice and be disciplined enough to sing beautifully. She believed in me. She saw a talent in me that I didn't see in myself, or if I saw it, it was crushed by others who were negative. And she's like, no, come and sit by me on the piano bench, and I will give you parts to sing, and I will help you to sing. And she did. She, of all my teachers, she impacted me the most because of this gift that she gave me to believe in myself, to ignore critics, and to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined to um, become good at singing and enjoy it. The fourth woman that inspired and influenced me as a young girl was a lady by the name of Arlene. She was a family friend, her and her husband, a good family friend, I would say. And my parents, hung out with them often. They were a couple that they would spend time with and entertain together. And quite young, Arlene was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I remember she taught me how to suffer well. And she just was resigned to the Lord's will in her life. And she embodied sweetness. You just say her name and it just makes me smile. She was like this woman of just so much sweetness. Like she just it exuded from her, this sweet little woman. And I know that came from an interior sweetness, an interior um, uh, gift that she had and that she cultivated. And in her long suffering with breast cancer, again, the beautiful way she suffered taught me how to suffer well and how to go through suffering and who we become in that process. And the fifth woman who impacted my life as a young woman, of course, is my own mother. Mom taught me so many things. Mom's taught me so many things, continues to teach me things as an adult woman. I think one of the biggest things, gosh, I mean, so many things. I don't know how to rank them, but follow your dream. Mom believed in me. She believed in each of my siblings. I'm a second of nine, so there's lots of us. Um, she, between she and my father, like, you can do whatever you put your mind to. I was talking to her just before this call, just before coming live. And she goes, "You've got this, Amy. You'll be great at it. Don't worry. I'll say a little prayer for you." And which, is a beautiful thing to have, a beautiful friendship to have. And I'm blessed to have that with my mother, that she is supportive of the work that I do. She's supportive of the way that I minister. She's supportive of the way I contribute in the world. And and she did teach me to believe in myself. Like, you can do it. If you need to learn a new skill, go grab a book or take a class. I mean, always encouraging in that way. Now with Google, which, back when I was young, that wasn't a thing. But now it's so easy to be able to find what I need for a new skill. to skill up, and also that she can help me with some of those things. We to have a mentor and a guide to help me learn a new skill or to reframe my mindset on something. So my mother also taught me how to present yourself with grace and femininity. She, like her own mother, and which I'm sure that she saw that in her too, that beautiful feminine presence that my grandmother had with her mother. And so for her to see that and to be able to um, share that with me. And my mother worked hard. She taught me how to work hard and be disciplined. We had chores. So I'd have chores. We had morning routines and evening routines and, school routines. So it was very routine oriented home. And I don't know if I loved it so much as a kid. Sometimes I didn't, though my personality very much likes routine. And so when she, we would have, like I said, our morning routine and our school routine, our evening routine, our routine for Sundays, our routine for Saturdays. I mean, like it was clean the house Saturday morning, and everybody had their particular chore, from dusting to vacuuming to washing the floors to doing the laundry. And she taught us all of these skills, but within this framework of having a schedule and a routine in your life. And I think this is something that is so important for our lives. I mean, this one thing that she taught me, has served me so well in my life. I mean, I still have a morning routine. I have an evening routine, and they ebb and flow. Like they're not always the same. They change with a life change, or getting married, or having a child, or maybe even starting a new job. And those routines look a little different when we're on vacation and not at home. And they might look a little different in the wintertime, different than the summertime. But to have this kind of bumper on your time, bumpers to say, this is the time I'm spending on this, and then we move to the next thing. And so learning that early on in life was such a gift, such a gift. And where maybe I didn't always love it, I do embrace it today. And I recognize how much children need structure. And that's what routines are. They really are creating structure for our day. And I think one of the other beautiful things that it's taught me is I'm able to then be present in the moment for where I am. Like Christy Wright says, be where my feet are. Right? So if my feet are here talking to you in this podcast, I can be completely present because that is what's on my schedule and this is where I'm supposed to be. If my feet are in the kitchen making dinner, that's where I'm supposed to be, and to be present to lovingly prepping that dinner for my family. If, my feet are in front of my son or sitting at the dining room table and helping him with his homework, to be truly present there, helping him with his homework and joking around with him and asking him about his day. And instead of thinking about what are the other things I have to get done yet today, or looking at my phone and responding to a text message. And when I'm on a date with my husband on date night, that's where my feet are, and that's where I'm present too, and not wandering off to other things. And I can do that because as a child, I received this wonderful gift from my mother of routines and structure, and still use that today. Another thing my mother taught was hard work and discipline. We grew up with many gardens, and so we always had tasks of having to, weed the garden and care for our animals outside. We are a large family, so there was always cooking and cleaning and chores that needed to be done in the house too. And so this discipline of hard work and the reward of hard work too. And that when you put your mind to something, you can succeed at it, but it takes discipline. Whether it's saving money for a particular toy or craft that I wanted, or I loved picking green beans in the garden and then seeing them all canned on the counter. Like there's no reward better than that. All that hard work of canning and your dream of now we have food for the whole winter for the family, and they're beautiful, beautiful in the canned jars. And so that discipline is taught, and it can be learned. We can learn to discipline ourselves as long as our dream is big enough, and that we can get to that dream takes discipline. And so that is something that I thank my mother for often, the discipline that she taught me. She also taught me how to be a loving mother. We walk into these roles in our lives, and you know, where do we learn to be a good wife? Where do we learn to be a loving and kind and gentle mother? Where do we learn to be a woman of influence? We can learn it. And one of the best and easiest ways to learn it is to look to other women. Look to women who we admire who are doing this well. And so there were many ways. My mother taught me how to be a loving mother and how to be a mother that brings the faith alive in our home. Like living the faith in our home growing up was just like eating and sleeping and breathing. Like it was just part of our domestic church. And we weren't separate. Like we weren't Catholic here and then a Hanson over here. We were all one. We were integrated. Our faith, our work, our family life, our everything was integrated and not put into these silos. And so her being a loving mother, and that example to me, and how I want to raise our son is priceless. And I know that's a gift. I know that it's a gift of how she influenced me. And so these 5 women, Marion, Margaret, Rosemary, Arlene, and my mom, my grandmother's my mom, they helped form me as a young woman. And today I have 5 different women who surround me, who are my closest friends. Some of them are family, some of them my sisters. My mom still amongst those 5 women. They influence me. And I have to ask myself, how do I contribute to their lives? What am I doing to live out the calling that God has put upon my heart? How am I growing? How am I becoming that best version of myself, as Matthew Kelly says? How am I becoming that woman that God has designed me to be? And are these women who are surrounding me now as an adult woman, how are they helping me to be the best entrepreneur I can be, the best wife I can be, the best mother that I can be, the best daughter that I can be, the best contributor that I can be, the most generous woman that I can be? So am I doing that for other women? That's the challenge, right? Am I being that woman who is a woman of integrity, a woman who is holding my girlfriends and my women friends accountable, just as I ask them to hold me accountable? And so my challenge is for you is to think about who are the women that influence your life right now? Are they helping you to grow? Or are they capping you? Are they making you stagnant? Are they, or are they challenging you? Are they holding you accountable? Are they loving you, truly loving you? And are you doing the same for them? And that doesn't mean if you discover or you think about a friend that's not doing that, it doesn't mean you have to like kick them to the to the wayside. But I think think about, well, do I maybe need to limit my time with them? And if you're struggling to find women that you admire and who influence you and who you can grow and learn from, first of all, pray about that. Like pray about that God would send you good women in your life to help you, to grow with, to challenge you. Social media can be helpful in this capacity, right? We can follow some women who we admire, who inspire us. I do that a lot. Look at what they're posting. What are they reading? What are they writing about? How is God speaking to them? And they're sharing it with others. And so, if drop in the comments when you're listening to this, if you wouldn't mind, post who are the 5 women that without them being in your life today, you would not be the most amazing woman that you are. Who influenced you or are continuing to influence you? Who are those 5 women? Just jot their first names down in the post. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear who they are and thank them. Thank them for the impact, the positive impact that they're making in your life. And then I would love to stay in touch with you and let you know what's coming up on the next podcast, let you know what's coming up new in Cummings Coaching as we move forward. So if you wouldn't mind popping over to the Cummings Coaching page, and I'm going to just post that in the chat here. So cummingscoaching.org, and we have a little box there to enter your email address so we can stay in touch with you, keep you up to date on what's happening and new offerings that we have coming down for in the next 6 months or so. And then if anyone is local to the Twin Cities here and would love to come and hear about designing the woman God is calling you to be, January, Donovan and I are giving a presentation at All Saints Church in Lakeville on November 13th, and there's still seats available. And so if you would like to be part of that, you can find information about that on the All Saints Church website. And or if you drop me a message in the comments, I can get you the link. Maybe I'll put the link in there to register for that event. So it's designing the woman God is calling you to be. And it will be a great morning of mass, breakfast, fellowship with other women, community, presentations, workshop. You're gonna leave us some real practicals on how to continue to design that life that God is calling you to. And I'd love to just continue to share with you ideas, thoughts, comments, and be a woman of influence in other people's lives. Share with them what you've learned. Challenge them, encourage them, support them, affirm them, hold them up in moments of sadness, in moments of grief, in moments when they can't see the beautiful woman that they are. Thanks for sharing time with me this morning. Always shine your light brightly. Next week, same time.